I get asked a lot, why do I live here instead of Canada? What is the true cost of leaving Canada and coming here? Is it really that much cheaper? What would it take for somebody to move to Guatemala? I'm gonna tell you today what my life was like when I lived in Toronto, Canada, because I think that's a good place to start. It's an expensive city, but it's still, a lot of this stuff applies. And what my life is like here in Antigua, which is an expensive tourist town in a cheap country. What is the true cost? And I'll break it down for you. If you like this video, please subscribe. Feel free to share with friends. Luna, listo? First up, housing. Housing is the major difference. I way overpay for my place, and I pay about 500 American dollars a month. It's a 1-bedroom, it's got a courtyard, a beautiful big kitchen, a great big bedroom, a living room, a bathroom, lots of closet space. I 100% pay for my neighborhood. I live right in the thick of it in Antigua, and it's expensive where I am, but it's still only 500 US dollars a month. In Toronto, I was living in a place that was about 1,300 US dollars a month. It was also a 1-bedroom with a backyard, bottom floor of a house in a great neighborhood in a cheaper part of town on the west end in a place called Ranci. I've heard that my place is going for over 2,000 now because the market is just insane. So the number one thing that will change when you leave Canada or the US is your housing is gonna drop significantly. So that's like a really big piece. I mean, having a quarter of the price of my housing, worth it. We're still on housing here because housing's a really big one. Basically, if you're gonna move here, you have to understand that this whole town has a UNESCO designation. And since it does have a UNESCO designation, the rents are really damn high. And because the rents are really high, it costs the same amount for a beer as a coffee here, and it costs the same amount for a coffee as it does for a meal. So you're looking at about 30 Q, which is about, I don't know, $5 American, I think a Canadian dollar, so it's a little hard to do the American exchange. So you're looking at spending about $5 American on a meal. That's like a sandwich or a salad or something. It's the same for a coffee, it's the same for a beer. And it's even more for artisanal beer. So if you're looking to recreate any of the things that you love from home, you know, takeout, nice restaurants, they have them here, not as much as they do in Toronto, and not at the crazy high price points, but it's quite a lot of money considering what a poor country this is. So here we are at Chamal, we're at a restaurant, and this, which is an amazing octopus salad, has only cost me 5 American dollars, but this, which is a great beer, has cost me 4. So it racks up pretty quick when you're at restaurants here. However, I'm gonna show you the market tomorrow and you'll see that there's also ways to be hella cheap. So we talked a little bit about housing and about restaurants here. And yeah, I'm sure you're sitting at home in New York or whatever going like, oh, it's like $16 for Starbucks here. That's cool, but you also won't make a lot more money. Nobody moves down here to work a 100-hour work week, okay? And if you're gonna be making Guatemalan quetzals, there, you know, a meal that's last night's meal at Chamal, you know, ended up being my salad and a beer and an empanada for Luna ended up being like around 17 American dollars, and I know you're like, oh, well, that's nothing, I spend that on a sandwich. But you won't be making that kind of money down here at all, okay? But here's where things get really good. It's that the markets. So the markets here are incredible. The food in Guatemala specifically, this is a part of the world that is known for its farming, known for its organic food. They ship something like 60% of their produce to the States. The climate here is cold enough where you can grow broccoli and garlic, but it's warm enough that they also have papayas. They do import food. There's a lot of imported tropical food here. There's no way that you can have the amount of papayas that are here if they weren't importing and growing fake Franken food, but they also have a lot of organic. And to meet your farmer, you just have to go to the market and you can talk to people there. Everybody knows where their food came from. A lot of people are growing it in their backyard. It's not a mystery like it is in Canada. And I really believe in my heart of hearts that clean food is a basic human right. We shouldn't it's not just for the rich. You shouldn't have to pay so much money for it. Anyway, I'll just give you a quick look at one part of the market. This thing is vast, it goes on forever, and it's totally worth it. You can, for about $15 American, buy all of your groceries for the week here. So this is where you save the money. Here's the rub. Yeah, things sound cheaper and whatnot, but how are you gonna make money when you get here? So most foreigners, people like me, we're here on tourist visas. We're not residents. It's actually hard to be a resident unless you have a baby in this country. It's a lot of work, it takes time, it takes money, it takes a lot of forms and a lot of BS because this whole system runs on BS. A lot of people, what they do is they work in bars or they teach English. Those are the two main jobs that people do down here. Unless they have some savings and they come down and they open a hostel or they open a bar or restaurant, that's it. A bar shift here, you're looking at making like good money at a bar is 300 quetzals for the night. And that's like $45. So when it costs you $4 a beer and you make $45 a day, you do the math, it doesn't actually end up being that much cheaper here. The only way to make this whole thing work is if you make money outside of the country and bring it in. For me, I've had a company in Canada since I was 23 years old. I work online. I don't make enough money to live in Canada with the job I do, but my Canadian dollar goes a lot further down here and I don't have to work a 100-hour work week to scrape by in my $2,000 one-bedroom apartment. So instead, I work like 30, 40 hours a week. I make probably about like, I don't know, 30 grand a year Canadian, and I live on that well. It costs me about 2 grand American a month to live. I also teach yoga here. A yoga class gets you, on average, about 100 Q for an hour class. So that's like 15, 16 American dollars. However, that'll get you a little further. So what are the main perks of living here? The main perks are not having to work as much to get the things you want. If you're a parent, you can get full-time childcare here for about 200 American dollars a month. That is a vast difference from home. You get to spend more time with your kids. It's a simple life. Things are cheaper. If you make money outside of the country, you don't have to work as much to get nice things. You can have an apartment for 500 bucks a month. You can work 40 hours a week. You can have that old 50s lifestyle. Those are the perks. Clean, organic food that's accessible at a really cheap rate. Great street food for super cheap. You can get a great home-cooked street food meal for 5 American dollars. That's the perks. That's why you move here. The downside is that you're gonna have to give up a lot. You are now an immigrant or an illegal immigrant in another country. And just like all immigrants in the world, you're gonna have struggles that immigrants have. There's a lot of process. Things take a long time. You have no rights. You have to get used to that. There is no fashion. There is no pop culture. There are no concerts. You have to give all that up, and you will never eat good Asian food again, no matter how much you pay, if you move out of Canada and the States. Like from Toronto, what do I miss? I miss Jamaicans. I miss jerk chicken. I miss Caribbean culture. I grew up with that. I miss that so much. I miss people understanding my inside jokes. I miss sarcasm. I miss Asian food. Like I could eat pho and Vietnamese noodles and dim sum and sushi till the cows come home. It's all I really eat when I'm home, when I'm not having jerk chicken. And I miss gay culture. I miss going out on a Thursday night to a lesbian hip hop night. I miss having trans friends. I miss the diversity. I miss all of that. I really do. I miss all of that. But what I don't miss, and what I will never miss, is people complaining about the weather because they have no real problems. People spending more time on making money than growing relationships, quality over quantity, feeling stressed out all the time, feeling like I'm never gonna get ahead, constantly needing to be in a box. Everybody's pissed off, stressed out, overworked, and underpaid. And I don't miss any of that. The things I gave up were not that meaningful to me. I don't care that I don't know anything about fashion. I don't care that I don't see any advertisements or have cable TV or go to movies. I miss them a little, but not a lot. I don't care that I don't have Starbucks. I don't care that I don't have Asian food, although I miss it like crazy. Oh, what I would give for a good chirashi don, you know? But you know, I can take vacations to get that. I can take a flight and go somewhere that has those things. Usually the blush is off the rose for me when I go back to Toronto in about a week. You know, I find it really exhausting to be a parent there. I find it hard to connect with people, and these things are so meaningful to me. Family and community and God are more meaningful to me than money, power, and sex. And I'm definitely living in the right country for those. And you know what? If you love fashion and you love going to concerts and you know you literally cannot live without Vietnamese noodles, like if that's you, then stay in the West. It's worth the hustle, you know? But if it's meaningless, you can do what I did. So that's how I did it. Please, if you like this, subscribe or like it. I mean, give it a little like. It's like so easy. Give it a little like. If you have questions, leave them below. If you want me to make a video that's more in depth about a specific topic, or if I miss something, let me know. Otherwise, life is not about working and paying bills. Life is about living, and you do it whatever way works for you. As Luna says, "Mwah, adios, baby."